Have you ever wondered how an empire, vast, wealthy, powerful, could simply disappear without a trace? No records, no ruins, no witnesses, just whispers in the wind, carried over centuries. A name that once inspired fear and awe now only exists in forgotten scrolls and forbidden texts. Today, we uncover one of the darkest enigmas in ancient history, a story deliberately buried by time itself. This is the tale of the Dark Empire that vanished without a trace. Somewhere between the ancient boundaries of the eastern deserts and the misty highlands of the west, there once stood an empire not spoken of in textbooks. Older than Rome, more brutal than the Assyrians, richer than Babylon. And yet, today, no official map dares to mark its name. To modern historians, it is a myth. But to those who have studied the shadowy gaps in history, this empire was real. And its disappearance may be the key to understanding why certain truths are kept hidden from us. Its name? Velatria, cursed word, one not meant to be spoken aloud. An empire whose symbol, a crowned vulture with outstretched wings, was once etched on black banners across thousands of miles. Velatria was known to ancient traders, mercenaries, and rival monarchs as the kingdom that devoured kingdoms. But just as quickly as it rose, it collapsed, not in war, nor in rebellion, but in silence. Our search begins in fragments. A ruined manuscript discovered in the catacombs of an abandoned monastery in Cappadocia, written in a mix of Aramaic, Greek, and something far older. The scribe who wrote it seemed terrified, as if even writing about Velatria summoned danger. He described a land where the rivers ran black with oil, where gold was harvested not from mines, but from the sands themselves. But most disturbing was his final entry. A warning: do not seek Velatria. For those who find it, do not return. Why such fear? What made this empire so different? Let's step into what little we know about the heart of Velatria. The capital city, if it ever truly existed, was called Kartara. The Black City, said to be built into a canyon so deep that sunlight only touched its streets for a single hour each day. A city carved not with tools, but with heat. Some scholars believe it was shaped with unknown technology or forces beyond our comprehension. Witnesses from distant tribes claimed its gates were alive, groaning like beasts, and that its walls wept blood during certain moons. Of course, all this sounds like superstition, but superstition has a habit of holding fragments of truth. Ancient Chinese records speak of a foreign emissary who traveled west in 213 BCE and described a city where the shadows ruled and the people had no eyes. Persian clay tablets, buried under sand for 2 millennia, make mention of a godless empire beyond the dunes, where fire speaks. Even Roman historians, precise and rational, occasionally refer to a black kingdom in the east that trades only in silence and death. But what did Velatria do to earn such fear? Some believe it was their mastery of death. Velatria, it said, did not merely kill its enemies. They erased them. Whole villages disappeared in a single night. Men, women, children, without bones, without ash. Their enemies were not conquered, but absorbed. Their languages vanished, their gods forbidden, their bloodlines diluted into the void. Even darker are the tales of the Ebon Rite, a ritual conducted by Velatrian high priests. Every equinox, the skies would darken, and a procession of chained figures, thousands at a time, would be led to the central altar of Kartara. None returned. Witnesses, if any, described a noise like a dying star, and then silence, as if the world itself held its breath. What was sacrificed? Who demanded it? And to what end? Then one day it all stopped. There is no record of war, no invasion, no plague. The last mention of Velatria appears in a scroll from 74 BCE, which simply says, "We await tribute from the Black Empire." None came. That was it. A blank space in history where a titan once stood. Some say the empire collapsed under its own darkness, that its rulers became obsessed with eternal life and unleashed something they could not control. Others believe Velatria was not of this world to begin with, that it was an experiment, a prison, or worse, a mirror of what humanity could become if left unchecked. But the most chilling theory? That Velatria never truly vanished. It simply moved underground. There are explorers today who speak of deep labyrinths beneath modern cities, ancient tunnels carved with unrecognizable symbols, black stone that absorbs light, and chambers filled with the scent of ash and rot. Urban myths? Maybe. But why do governments seal off such sites the moment they're found? Why do archaeologists go missing near these locations? And why, even now, does the name Velatria appear in classified documents related to psychological warfare and occult research? Perhaps the real question is not what Velatria was, but why we were made to forget. Because every empire leaves ruins, statues, coins, bones. But Velatria? Nothing. As if something wiped it clean. As if it was erased not by time but by design. And maybe, just maybe, it was meant to stay that way. So the next time you pass by an unmarked ruin, or hear whispers in a language that doesn't exist, remember this. History is not just written by the victors. It's edited by the survivors. And some stories were never meant to be told. Thank you for watching. And if you find yourself dreaming of a black city with no sun, don't follow it. Not all lost empires wish to be found.